Hey, this is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the CreditRepairShop.com. It looks like it's not over yet. Santander to pay Mississippi $3.7 million for auto loan violations. This is breaking news. Looks like the other states are going to start lining up to go ahead and finish out the 50 states. This will make the 35th state that was suing Santander, which is a subprime auto lender. Santander got caught, just in case you didn't know, they got caught doing something where they were using an internal score to get people to get approved for loans with them, and also a whole bunch of other things that they were doing where people's interest rates were not matching their payoff dates for their vehicle. When they would repo a vehicle, people would have to pay a certain amount to get it back, but they were charging it off on their credit reports because they were actually becoming a debt collector, which is also against the law. You can't be the lender and a debt collector. And they were the auto dealers that they were using were doing things like power booking on the vehicles. That's where they were saying a vehicle was worth a certain amount and it had all of these different accessories and options on them, and the vehicle really didn't. So they were selling a car that was maybe worth $10,000. They were getting a loan through Santander for $25,000. This was happening all across the country. In 34 states did a class action lawsuit where they were people were getting restitution if their vehicle was taken from them, repoed from them, and they don't can't get it back. They were getting a small check, but they were also forgiving the entire repossession debt and taking all of the information off of their credit reports. People who had their vehicle, what they were doing is they were forgiving the debt and giving them the title and taking the negative information off of their credit report. So now what we have is Mississippi just a few days ago settled with Santander $3.7 million for auto loan violations, but also uh, $1.8 million directly to consumers for restitution. So, depending on how many loans they made in the state of Mississippi, that could be a pretty good amount for people to divvy up. And I'm pretty sure they're also going to make some corrections on the way that they do business. And it has that here. It says, additionally, going forward, Santander must account for consumers' ability to pay a loan. This is something that they were doing. They were actually using their internal score to bypass the lending laws on if an individual uh, had the ability to repay the loan. So they were setting people up to fail by giving them these loans. And you might be saying, well, how are they? Why would they be willing to lose money if they know that the people cannot pay the loan? That's a whole different video on where they're getting the money from to even be able to do this. But trust me, there's reasoning behind it. The other thing is that they had to set a reasonable debt to income ratio threshold to reasonably evaluate a consumer's ability to pay the loan and not require dealers to sell an ancillary product. They were selling the ancillary product with the vehicle, like a vehicle service contract and all these different things to just beef up the loan amount. The other thing is monitor dealers for possible income inflations, power booking, or expense deflation. That means that they said that you're paying rent 1,000 a month. They were saying no, your rent is $500 a month. The dealers were changing that on applications, not the consumer. Not misrepresent a consumer's prospect of redeeming a vehicle that has been repossessed, misrepresented. So if the deal when with these subprime loans, the dealer when they sell a car, it's not done. Like the work is not done. It's not like a regular loan that you deal with these other banks. This here they make these dealers also work on getting that car back, and they will tell them, you need to go and get that car repossessed because what they do is they don't always pay the dealer the full amount. of the loan, because they know that they're dealing with subprime, so they may pay them a percentage so they can have a dealer on the hook to either help with repossessions or to try to pre-qualify people a little bit better. Next thing is not requiring consumers to make payments through methods that require the consumer to pay additional third-party fees, such as a money order, which is crazy. But remember, they were dealing with subprime people, and some people that have subprime cannot pay their loans because they through a bank because they cannot get a bank account. Not to make any attempt to collect on loans that have been extinguished under Mississippi law, and must notify all relevant credit reporting agencies that the debts have been extinguished. They use the word extinguished. That could be past statute of limitations or that it's been charged off. Got to look up what they mean by extinguished. Hold on, I'm going to look that up for a second. All right, I'm back. Just so you know, we all get educated all the time. Extinguished means past statute of limitations. So if you live in Mississippi, they use the word extinguished debt. This is what really gets people confused, because it's like, is the debt past statute of limitations? Well, the debt is extinguished and you can pay us this amount. If somebody said that to you, the debt is extinguished and you can pay half of it, what would you think? That's why they confuse people. I never heard the word extinguish used. I've heard time barred. I've heard morally obligated, but I've never heard extinguished. So thank you for asking this question. Uh, Thank you, Mississippi, for getting the Santander settlement. And thank you for educating us on the word that we could use extinguish for when it's relating to debt coming from Mississippi. So let's move on and get the next part. Hold on one second. And it says here, over the next few months, eligible consumers will be contacted by the Mississippi Attorney General's office, notifying them that they are eligible for restitution. If you have any questions regarding the restitution, visit or call. It doesn't get a website, but it says call, maybe the Attorney General's website of Mississippi. Call 877-465-4894 to speak to a representative. It doesn't state if that's a Santander representative or a settlement administrator representative or the Attorney General representative. But the number is 877-465-4894. You should call there to see if, number one, you're in line for restitution. And then also, if you have a complaint, maybe they can get you into there, because they're going to have to find all of these people, and whatever money isn't spent doesn't just, it'll just sit there, and maybe they can include people that were not set in there because you filed a complaint later. All right, we're going to end the video here. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different. If you can follow our process, we invite you to become a customer. If not, please choose another company. If you need your credit reports and scores, you can look on there to see how that Santander is laying on there. You can please go to the website the3scores.com. Has all of the information you need, and if you decide to work with us, that's the one that we use. If you have debt collectors coming after you, I have a cease and desist letter, have a statute of limitations letter if it's past statute of limitations, and I have extinguished debt from Mississippi if it's extinguished, and then the debt validation letter. Those links are below this video. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.